Hello YouTube, this is Sniper Wolf 1001 here with an unboxing video. Now this is actually the first unboxing video that I've ever done before, and this is actually going to be a new thing that I'm doing with my channel now. Pretty much anytime that I get a figure or collector's editions or anything really that's a collectible, on top of the gameplay videos I put out there, I'm also going to be doing some unboxing videos. So right here, this came in the mail today, actually, and this is the robot Damashii Sinanju mobile suit from Gundam Unicorn. So let's go ahead and open this thing up real quick. Also, I apologize if the video quality isn't that great for this video. Pretty much I'm using my laptop's webcam to record all of this, so there are going to be some black borders on the side of the screen, so yeah, bear with me there with that. Oh yeah, and on top of unboxing videos being a new thing for my channel, don't expect too many of these because, figures are pretty expensive. I actually have 3 more figures coming in the mail in the next few days, so I hope you guys look forward to watching those. I know I'm pretty excited to get those figures specifically. But anyways, with the box opened, throw that away. And here we are. As you can see, Robot Damashii Sinanju mobile suit. And as you can see here is the MSN06S, the model number for this mobile suit. And one really quick note here, I actually haven't watched Gundam Unicorn yet. I do plan to watch it soon, but yeah, just bear with me if I don't mention any terminology correctly, because I don't know too much about this. I have played Gundam Extreme Versus quite a bit, and I've used him a bit, so I do know some things, but here we go with the Gundam Unicorn symbol here at the bottom of the box. And then there's a nice picture of the Sinanju mobile suit at the side of the box. And on the back here, we have a bunch of pictures of the various equipable parts and weapons that this figure comes with. As you can see here on the top left, there's him wielding his beam sabers that are mounted into his arms. At the bottom left here, we have his beam axes right at the back of his shield. In the middle, obviously, here we have him just holding his beam rifle. At the bottom right here, we have the thrusters and the propellant tanks. And at the top right here, we have him wielding his beam axes. So let's go ahead and open this thing up real quick. This is actually my first Gundam figure that I've ever purchased before. I've actually been meaning to get some Gundam figures for a long time. I actually have some Zone of the Enders figures, but yeah, this is my first Gundam figure, so I'm pretty happy about it. So right out of the box, we get a ton of stuff. Like, of course, we got the figure there in the center, we got the shield there, a nice looking shield, we got a bunch of arm parts, some beam effect parts there at the bottom. We have those nice propellant tanks, and then right beside them we have the beam sabers, and then at the bottom the handles. And then right at the top there we have the thrusters. Oh, there's another part hidden right underneath there actually. I didn't notice this, but yeah. Right here we have some more parts. We can see his beam rifle right there with the grenade launcher mounted underneath it. You can see at the bottom we have various different types of hands. And then over here we have all the beam axes too. That was pretty neat. Like, it was literally hiding right behind the shield so I couldn't see it, but it just fell out. Alright, so right out of the box, let's take this guy out. And right away, this figure looks really detailed. I'm really liking what they've done with the reds, like this really beautiful crimson sheen. And the gold parts here, the gold detailing just looks really well done here. It's very sharp. I'm not noticing any color bleed off with the different parts of the colors. Everything seems to be quite perfect from what I'm seeing so far. The blacks look really good. Here's a look at the back here. So, yeah, the colors are pretty nice. So I'll go ahead and do some articulation. So I guess we'll start from the bottom. So for the legs, we can get a nice bend of the knee right up there. Sorry you couldn't see that, but yeah, we can get a nice bend right there, right on the knee. Goes up about that high. And those little plates on the knee, they stick out when the knee bends, which is pretty nice detail there. And then right here we have the little leg thrusters. Pretty nicely detailed, and they swivel right on the sides. And then for in and out, you can get a nice split with the leg. You can see it comes out pretty far out to the side. Pretty nice split pose there. And then now for the waist, you can see that we have, in terms of turning, you can get a pretty drastic turn there. Like, he's pretty far out right there. As you can see, like, his chest is pretty much directly to the side. He's fully sideways right now, so that's a pretty nice sideways turn we got there. We can get some decent poses with that. Probably some good sword poses. And then right here on the side skirts, we have these thruster parts that flip in and out. And then we also have these parts on the front that flip in and out as well. And then, let's see, we can get a decent ab crunch forward, like a downward bend right there. I don't know, you can get some good poses of him looking down on people, I guess. And, yeah, one thing about this figure is I actually kind of regret buying this guy only because after I bought it, I realized that there was actually another version of this same figure coming out next year. And pretty much it's the exact same figure, the exact same model that comes with all this stuff, but it comes with some extra parts as well. Pretty much it comes with his rocket launcher, and it also comes with a customized head. It's like a really damaged head with one big eye. So right here we'll start off with the shield. You can see I already went ahead and put the beams on. But right here on the back of the shield, you have these little beam axes mounted at the back there, as you can see, and they have these nice looking beam effect parts here. Like these little energy sabers, and you can see like the little ripples of energy there, and it comes out to make a nice looking energy shield sword. It's a very nice concept of a weapon. It looks really badass, really menacing. And from this weapon here, you can just mount it right on his arm. Right there, if you swap out one of the arm parts, you put in that little arm part there that has that gray nub on the end there. And then that nub, you can pretty much mount the shield inside. See, as you can see here, there's a little hole there, and then you just mount the shield right on his arm. Just like that, and it snaps in. So here we are with the figure holding the shield with the beam axes deployed. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this figure came with a stand, so I'm probably gonna have to buy one later. So I have a feeling this figure is gonna be a bit heavy, because the parts it comes with are pretty large, as you probably already saw. I'm already having trouble standing him up right now. Well, I guess that's alright so far. But I'm pretty sure once I equip some other parts to it, it's gonna get pretty back heavy. But there he is, standing there with the shield sword on. Looking pretty badass. So let's get on to the other parts. So right here, We have the beam sabers. As you can see, they're very nicely designed. Like this really nice, clear, bright yellow. And then we have these nice little waves of energy going throughout the blade. Very nice looking detail. It actually makes the blade look more vibrant in comparison to a lot of the other Robot Damashii Gundams. And then obviously we have the little handles here, if I can get one of them out. There we go, there's one. So yeah, we have the little handles there, which obviously we mount the sabers into, and they go in pretty easily, just like that. And there we have it. Nice beam saber right there. And you can actually do two things with these beam sabers. You can take off one of the hands, one of the little beam holding hands that you can mount that beam saber in, or you can use one of those little arm parts here. These little arm parts, as you can see, these wrist parts have, you can either have him holding the beam saber in his hand, or you can use these little arm parts, these little wrist parts that you can see they have a little indent there. And then, yeah, you just fit the beam saber inside. Obviously, you take off the handle. But yeah, you just fit the beam saber on the inside. Goes in pretty easily. Just like that. And there you have you have an arm saber. Nice little arm sabers right there. It's a pretty nice melee looking unit we have going on here. Now for the other weapons. So with that case opened, we'll take a look at the beam rifle. So as you can see, the beam rifle looks pretty nice. Very detailed. A lot of segments and stuff. I really like that metallic-y green on the inside of the scope there. That's a very good detail. The scope is, the rifle is looking pretty slick, and there's the grenade launcher at the bottom, and you can actually dismount it here. You just drop that part there. And then you can pull the grenade launcher out just like that. But yeah, this is a really nice looking beam rifle. And the scope can also flip in and out. It's attached to this little wire part here to the other part of the scope. As you can see, you can just slide it in and out from side to side. That's a pretty nice detail there. It's kind of like you can have a short scope for short to medium range, I guess, or add that for, you know, longer sniping range. Has some nice variety on that gun. So here we'll just mount the grenade launcher back in. And of course the grenade launcher goes in easily like that. Really nice looking part right here. I'm really loving the design on this. Now, another feature about the shield is that not only does it also store those beam axes, but with the beam rifle, you can actually disconnect the grenade launcher, like you saw me do earlier, and you can actually mount the grenade launcher right on the inside of that shield, right in between the beam blades right there. So you can see those little indented parts there. The grenade launcher fits in pretty easily. That's a little too far back. But yeah, just like that. It snaps in pretty easily. And there you go. You have the grenade launcher hidden right behind the shield. And that looks really badass. So now let's get on to the beam axes, the ones that aren't mounted on the shield. So as you can see, these beam axes look a lot larger from the ones on the back of the shield, and they of course come with their own little effect parts there, the little energy waves. And all of these beam effect parts that apply to the beam axes, the ones that I'm holding right now and the ones on the back of the shield, though they're all interchangeable with each other. Like, pretty much, if you wanted any of these little free axes here in one of his hands, but you wanted to have these really long beam effect parts here, you could just switch them out. Just deattach them, and then just put them back on the beam axes. And then you can kind of have them set up to have any real length you really wanted. You can have a short one here and a long one down here and whatnot. Anything you really desire, really. And these two beam axes, another thing about them is they, on the backs, one of them has a peg and the other one has a hole. And the cool thing about that is you can actually combine them end on end. Just like that. And you have like a nice kind of beam double axe thing, kind of like a lance, I guess. With the two beam axes attached, it's pretty nice looking design. You could get some pretty nice poses with this weapon. And yeah, obviously with these beam weapons, like I said before, all of the beam effect parts are all interchangeable, so you could just have any real length that you have on them with these long parts. Just like this. You can just have one with one really long length, so you can just have the beam axes with a wide variety of lengths, and you can just do whatever you want with this figure, which is really neat. And right here we have the Sinanju holding the beam double axes here. And those holding hands hold them in pretty tightly. Like, those hands are pretty nice. And right here is him holding the regular beam saber here, without them being mounted with the wrists, of course. And yeah, those hands are pretty nice. They're really tight. They lock in those sword parts pretty nicely, so they're not going to fall out if you shake them around or anything. I really wish I had a stand for this thing, though, because I really want to get it up into some nice flying poses with these thrusters, though. Now, onto the thruster part. So, again, just like the figure, the colors look really good. The beautiful crimson on this is very detailed, and the whites as well. And then, as you can see on the inside of the thrusters, we have this black metallic-y detailing on the insides there, as well as on the bottom down here. It's a really nice looking part. And another bit of articulation here, which is pretty neat. The thrusters, they have these little wings here at the top and the bottom, and then yeah, you can just pull them up and extend them just like that. And you can get some pretty nice looking flying poses like that. Of course, if you wanted to get flying poses, you'd probably need a stand. But yeah, you could just have him extended with all of his wings, his thrusters being pushed back and his wings extended, and just making them look really nice. So here we'll go ahead and mount the thrusters to the back. It looks like a pretty easy mounting. You can see there's a little indent there and a nub on the back. Just slide the two pieces in, and they go in without much of a struggle. And there we have the figure with the thrusters on, and it looks really nice with those thrusters. And with more articulation on the thrusters, you can actually pull these thrusters in and out just like that. So you can have some more varied flying poses if you so wish, extending the wings out like that. Or if he's posed on the ground and, you don't want the body or, his massive shield, overshadowing anything, you can just extend the wings outward and have them a bit more noticeable, which is pretty neat. Hopefully the figure doesn't get too back heavy like that. And just as I say so, the figure is actually falling down. I can't hold him up. And unfortunately, they didn't give us a stand with this figure, so I'm gonna have to pose him up on a wall or something like that. Maybe I'll get him up. Maybe I'll get him to stand later on or something. But as it stands right now, he's pretty back heavy. I guess I'll just have him lie down for now. And here we take a quick look at the propellant tanks. As you can see, we have some nice whites here. Pretty basic. And then here, these little silver parts are really nice. They're very shiny, very metallic-y. And then the red strip here is pretty nice, nice looking. And of course, a nub on the back there for attaching. So we'll put those on real quick. So propellant tanks, they obviously go into those little two holes there right under the thruster. And here we are with the propellant tanks attached to the backpack. And then just to actually attach the backpack back onto the figure so it doesn't look awkward just floating up there. So there we have it. With the figure, with the propellant tanks on, the thrusters mounted. It looks pretty nice. And of course, that's going to make the figure even more back heavy. So a lot more difficult to pose up. So if you want this figure to have some more dynamic poses, you're definitely going to need some sort of stand for it. If you don't have any extras, then you're probably going to need to buy some online. I think they're called soul stages. And here we have a nice, we have him holding the beam rifle with one of his beam rifle holding hands. And these hands are locking the rifle in pretty securely. Like, the hands are really nice and tight. The fingers look pretty good. And you can see that the fingers are holding the gun in pretty decently. Like, as you can see, I'm shaking the figure a bit there. He's not dropping it, or it's not shifting. So it's really nice and secure in those hands there. And he has his finger right there, right by the trigger, as you can see. So it's pretty neat. And then we also have this little part here, that little tiny part. What that part is for is, again, it's for the shield. It's an extra mounting part for the shield. So pretty much, it allows you to extend the shield away from the armor bit. As you can see, there's a mounting point just underneath that shoulder on the left shoulder. The thruster on the left shoulder. And yeah, it just fits into there. So, as you can see, we have the shield mounted just underneath the thruster. And it just hangs just in front of the arm. So you can have him holding something else in his hand while he has a shield mounted on his shoulder. So, you know, you have more flexibility to the weapons he can carry. And here we have him wielding the beam saber parts, but mounted in his arms. And you can get some pretty nice looking poses there. And yeah, these sabers look really cool hanging out of the arms like that. I really like this design concept. Ooh. Well, just as easy as those thrusters were to go in, they fall out pretty easily too if you play around with the figure too much. But there we go, back in. So here we are with the poses. Here we are with the swords. You can see you have some pretty nice poses, especially since you can bend the arms up pretty far. Just like that. You can curl the arms all the way back up and just have those beam sabers extended all the way in front of them, just like that. Yeah, this figure looks pretty cool with those beam sabers on the arms. And then this figure also comes with an extra antenna part. You can see here, Right on the head here, there's his antenna right there. You can kind of just pull the part out, the antenna right out pretty easily, just like that. And then you can just change the way the antenna looks. As you can see there, the extra antenna is mounted in the head. I'm not too sure what the differences are between the two antennas, because they look pretty much the same. So I'm not exactly sure why these two parts are here. It's maybe a small difference I'm not noticing. Probably a significant detail to the anime. But right now, these two antennas look very identical, so I'm not exactly sure what the differences are between them. They look like they're the same height and everything. Alright, well, I finally managed to get my figure to stand up with all of the stuff on him. As you can see there, he's actually kind of wobbly there, as you can see. You gotta be careful, but yeah, I had to space the legs out like that in order for him to just barely stand up with all of this equipment on. But yeah, this is a really, really nice figure. Like, I definitely think it was worth the money. And yeah, if you guys are into Gundam figures and you like the quality of the robot Damashii stuff, and of course if you like Gundam Unicorn and, you know, red mobile suits, I definitely think you guys should check this figure out. It's definitely worth the money. It comes with a ton of stuff. Like, one of the main reasons why I bought it was because of the shield sword. That thing looks badass. But yeah, if you have any plans on this thing, definitely I would recommend that you guys actually wait until next year for when they do the re-release of this figure, where it comes with all of his equipment. Because again, it comes with a rocket launcher, and it also comes with an extra head, which is like a damaged head. Like, it's all rusted on the right side, and it's really damaged. It has like a red eye. And also, the figure is actually slightly redesigned in the version that they're going to be releasing. Redesigned in the sense that the proportions are going to be a bit more accurate to the anime. Because I heard that this figure specifically, it was actually modeled differently, I guess slightly different from the anime. But I'm not exactly sure of the details there, but they said they're going to be modeling the re-release more closely to the anime version of the Sinanju. So essentially, the proportions are going to be a bit more accurate, and it's going to look a lot more sleek. So if you guys like this figure, definitely check it out. And yeah, I really love the way it looks. This is definitely going to be the pose that it's going to be in for a while for me, because this is its pose from Gundam Extreme Versus. For, you know, anytime you win, he does his pose with the badass beam shield sword, like him holding it up right in front of him while he's holding the beam rifle on the right side there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know it's probably not as good or as detailed as the other ones out there, you know, the people whose channels are dedicated to reviewing Gundam figures, you know, Gunplas, stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyways, so here's a nice Gundam Extreme Versus comparison at the end here.
ギリシャは折れやすい馬だ。自分を正当化するのに慣れている。